But this is Yilungelo way to welcome to another filled episode of Yilungelo Lakho. It's your right here on SABC 1. Sithemba ke bani sonwabele isiqelo swenu seholide zepasika. Igama lami ke ngusiphiwo speech Nzawumbi. Ukhumbule ke nawe ukuba sayivula iminxeba yethu ukuze nawe ukwazi ukuthabatha inxaxheba ngosala umnxeba apha kunabule yethu apha studio, and that is 011 714 6918 and 6919. Ungasithumela ke ne-email pha ku consumer@sabc.co.za. Ukanti ke ungasifumana napha kuhlobo lamhlanje lokunxibelelwano, and that is your social media, ngokusifumana pha ku page yethu ka Facebook, and that is Yilungelo Lakho, or tweet me directly at speech Nzawumbi, and don't forget to hashtag Yilungelo Lakho. Good afternoon. Now, the Easter holidays are upon us, and it is during this time that we'll be encountering law enforcement officials on the roads as we travel to various destinations. In our episode today, we share with you all you need to know about your rights and responsibilities on the roads and when you're stopped at the roadblocks. Have a look at this insert.
Always. Inhloso yalama roadblocks qinisekisa ukuthi labo labasebenzisa imigwaqo baphephile. Kungako njengalesikhathi sesiphithiphithi sema-Easter, lama roadblocks asabalele live lonke.
Yes, I'm very happy when I get a roadblock and they check everything in the car. They check the passenger liability and everything. Because as you can see, there's a lot of deaths on our roads, and because of negligence, because of reckless driving. So the police are there to make sure that people arrive safe.
Kepha labanye bashayeli bathi ayibajabulisi kahle hle indlela lenda ngawo umsebenzi wawo emaphoyisa.
Ukuthi amanye amaphoyisa mayekuvima emgaqweni ayikuthi wonke ayabheda, khona nje ukuthi wakuphatha ngendlela e-right, ngisho ufuna i-license, ngisho sesha imoto. Kulesikhathi uthi masesha imoto bani ukuvula nje i-dashboard, ikhipha izinto kabuhlungu emotweni angasayiphindiseli, uvula isibhuthi ngenkani, yabo nje kodwa amanye ukukhuluma ngendlela e-right mayikhuluma nawe.
Mulembatho ke leyenda kwekuthi bashayeli bafune kwati kabanti ngemalungelo abo uma bamiswa ngemaphoyisa.
I think it's just best to stay in your car, take out your license, do what you have to do, and if you have to pay a fine, just accept it.
Kumele ngidrive imoto esendleleni enedisk, le license yami ibe right ne-PTP ngoba ngisebenza ukulayisha abantu. Akumelanga ngiphuze emsebenzini nokulayisha i-overload. Ya, ngokuhamba ngemoto nje kumele ngihambe ngemoto e-right esendleleni ngidrive.
Ngahamba ngemoto, i-disk i-expirile, bambhala ngathi athi ufuna ukuthi ngibhale ngathi bhala. Ngahamba i-ticket ngahamba ngayibhatala ngazihambela, angizange ngiyenze lento yema-bribe.
Nanti ke tinfo letingenteka uma umshayeli amiswa ngemaphoyisa. Angacela i-driver's license, kuhlolwe amathikithi, kuhlolwe imoto yakhe. Imoto, umshayeli kanye nabagibeli baseshwe. Afuthiswe i-breathalyzer. Naku-ke lokungabangela ukuthi umshayeli atithole asenkingeni. I-driver's license leseyiphelelwe isikhathi, imoto lede ema-number plates kanye nemoto lengekho esimeni ukuthi ingaba semgwaqweni. Labanye bashayeli betimoto bathi ngalesinye isikhathi akusiko kuphepha kuphela, amaphoyisa lasuka kuhlosile uma bamisa.
What choices do I have? What are my choices?
Your choices is this one.
Yeah.
We can talk now.
Yeah.
Leave only 200 to go. Because of that guy, if they can say you are drunk, there is no more talking. Because we are going to bail January.
So you saying that we can sort out like this?
Yes, if you can.
Okay. So what happens if I say, can I get your badge number?
My badge number?
Yeah.
You want my badge number?
Yes, because you are now actually recording.
Okay, no problem.
I want to find your badge number
Or you want to
because you've just said that 200 bucks will sort anything out.
All right, let's go. Let me
So
go.
let me get your badge number quickly.
Let me go and give, I'll give you my badge number.
No, you give it to me now.
Eh?
You have a
Can you go? Can we go?
Labanye bashayeli bathi amaphoyisa ahlukumete amandla awo ebulungiswa.
This incident, a police officer is harassed by an apparent drunk driver. The officer calls for backup. Another motorist is interviewed.
Noma sekunesikhathi sendeka lesehlakalo, kepha kusibongiseni mazibuko waseJozi setawuthatha isikhathi kwekuthi akhohlwe isigameko sekuhlukumeteka etandleni temaphoyisa.
Then bangitshela nje ukuthi ngehle sehle emotweni sasiyi4. Then what happened, basearch babeyi2. Then after that bathi my car was involved kwi armed robbery nemeda eLinasia ngo2010.
Sibongiseni uthi kwammangalisa ke lokho ngoba phela emaphoyisa athi bese kuphele umnyaka kwendeka lesigameko. Uma ngabe bekamfuna mbamba, bekutawubamelula kokuthi amthole ngoba inumber plate yemoto yakhe ibonisa yonke imininingwane yakhe. Kuthi uhlala kuphi, usebenza kuphi, nelucingo lwakhe luthini.
The time siboshiwe, we had to pay 20,000 rand because we see for the lawyer ukuthi aze azosikhulumela because we were not sure ukuthi sekwenzakalani. While thina besazi ukuthi asenzanga lutho, and yet if you can spend 5 days in jail while uzitshela ukuthi awenzanga lutho, so already it's dangerous. You need to take action as well.
And then what's going to happen with my car if you go to police station? Okay, what's going to happen with my car?
Sibongiseni uthi emva kwekuboshwa emalanga lasihlanu icala aliyanga ngisho nasenkantolo. Bavele bakhululwa nje ngephandle kwenchazelo lengakanani. Eti kwaloko wasala nemthwalo wekususa ligama lelibi emotweni yakhe.
Imoto yami bayigcina for 3 to 4 weeks e13 la kugcinwa khona ama stolen and recovery vehicles. Mase ngiyolanda imoto kwathi icase iphelile, ipolice station eLinasia basenzela ukuthi due to lack of evidence asina case, imoto kwakungayona.
Wayne Minar weJohannesburg Metropolis uthi uma ngabe umshayeli ahlukumetwe liphoyisa unelungelo lekuliceba lelo phoyisa.
The motorist can go to court and put their case to the prosecutor and the magistrate and say, listen, I have not committed this offense in such a way as is claimed by the officer. This is what happened.
Babe Minar uthi uma ngabe umshayeli emiswa ngamaphoyisa kepha angadiva phephile unelungelo lokuma endzaweni lapho aphephe khona.
One can drive slowly to the nearest police station or filling station where there are cameras and where there is a lot of light for assistance, and to call for help. If it is an unmarked vehicle and it is late at night and the officers are not wearing uniform and you really feel that these are not officers, they are actually criminals, you can call the police for assistance.
Noma inhloso yema roadblocks kuqinisekisa ukuthi labo labasebenzisa imigwaqo baphephile. Uma ngabe umshayeli wemoto abona ukuthi emalungelo akhe ahlukumetekile, kumele ethathe imininingwane yalelo phoyisa, inumber plate yemoto lelihamba ngayo, indzawo lekamiswe kuyo kanye nesikhathi lekamiswe ngaso. Le mininingwane ibalekile uma kwenziwa liphenyo. Zinhle Dlamini, Yilungelo Lakho.
All right, now to further discuss your rights and responsibilities, including issues of road safety on the roads over this long Easter weekend, let's extend a warm welcome to Wayne Minar, Johannesburg Metropolis spokesperson. Samkele Howard Dembowski was isihlalo yena okanye usihlalo we-Police Justice Project South Africa. Abesimemeke no Road Traffic Management Corporation, but unfortunately they could not join us for the purpose of this discussion. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us and welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks a lot.
Now, I suppose, looking at that insert, we just need to start it from the beginning. It's that time of the year again. It's pilgrimages. People are going out there traveling. It's a long weekend. And some are just going out for family outings. But perhaps let's start with you, Mr. Dembowski. What is Project South Africa, Justice Project South Africa, and who are the members?
Well, Justice Project South Africa is a non-profit organization that was established to deal primarily with road traffic matters, legislation, enforcement, and improper enforcement. Our board members are comprised of myself, an attorney, and a very, very highly qualified driving instructor, plus a person who is a voluntary traffic reporter for the RTMC. And essentially what we're here to do is a couple of things. Our mandate is to ensure that road traffic enforcement is practiced correctly, to bring authorities to book if they don't practice it correctly, but additionally to put out a general air of road safety awareness amongst our members. Now, our members are people who subscribe to our organization, and we keep them in the loop. We keep them informed as to what is going on out there and how best to act on the roads, because it's all very well that we talk about our rights, but we need to talk about our responsibilities as well. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of people think that your rights are mutually exclusive. Your rights outweigh the rights of a traffic officer that's stopping you. First words out of your mouth is, "You corrupt pig," etc., etc. Those kind of things are not helpful to anybody.
So basically you are the watchdog of society when it comes to rights and responsibilities on the roads, if I get it correctly. Let's come to you, Mr. Minaru. So you're also on the insert, but looking at some of the issues there that have been covered, you saw there was intimidation also, and as motorists sometimes we don't know exactly where our standing comes in terms of our rights, what to do when approached by such an incident. Exactly what are the do's and don'ts, just the basic ones when it comes to road traffics?
Look, when it comes to an incident where or situation where an officer in full uniform driving a fully marked car stops a motorist, then a motorist must cooperate with the officer. So
exactly when you talk about cooperation, I think we need to get there. There was exactly the gentleman, but definitely that was impersonation. But sometimes you are approached by a traffic officer who is not in his full gear. How do you, is it correct, is it within your rights or responsibilities to stop, even though they don't show anything that indicates that they're from the traffic department?
You see, when the officer is not in full uniform, it makes things very difficult, because for the National Road Traffic Act regulations, the officer must be in full uniform for the traffic regulations. When it comes to crime prevention or for suspicious activity, like for an example a stolen motor vehicle or for drugs, then there are officers who do crime prevention function and don't wear uniform. So it makes things very hard to be able to identify one or the other. But if you are really an innocent person and you believe that the officer stopping you is bogus, the person is a criminal, you can drive for help, or you can phone for help.
Okay, now let's come to intimidation also. That's something that we saw happening on the insert. And many a times, police brutality has been reported to be an issue. And also when it comes to traffic officers, enforcement also. What are you doing as the traffic department to make sure that you curb those issues and you assist motorists who continuously suffer violation as a result of police officers or traffic officers?
I can tell you that JMPD has what we call internal affairs unit. Now the internal affairs unit's function is to investigate corrupt officers and to investigate officers for misconduct. No matter what the misconduct is, whether the officer swore at a motorist, whether the officer wanted bribe money, whether the officer assaulted a motorist, any misconduct should be and must be investigated by the internal affairs unit if there is a case reported and there is a genuine complaint.
Okay, let's come to you, Mr. Dembowski. You said that you are the watchdog of society. Basically, you inform the motorists, you equip them what to do, what are your rights, and what not to do during this time. Let's look at 2012 being one of the years that had an alarming rate of road accidents, especially around this time of Easter. 2013 had quite interesting statistics. You know, it went down a bit. But 2014, what are we most likely to expect? What's the behavior? Has the behavior changed in terms of the interaction between traffic officers and pedestrians or motorists?
Quite frankly, I think that if anything has happened, our situation has worsened significantly over the last couple of years. And there's a couple of reasons for that. It's all very well that we mount roadblocks and have very visible traffic law enforcement taking place at Christmas and at Easter. However, bad behavior is something that becomes a habit on our roads. And the fact is, if you allow people to continue to act like hooligans throughout the rest of the year, it's actually pretty unreasonable to expect them to behave themselves come the festive seasons. So the important issue here is we need a lot more visible policing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. The fact is that if there wasn't heightened enforcement at Easter and Christmas, etc., I can tell you right now that our road death toll would be much higher at those periods.
Okay.
But
why is it?
Because of the fact that some people do see traffic officers and police, etc., and they decide, okay, I'm going to behave myself in front of these people. However, when it comes to people hiding away in bushes, taking happy snaps of people speeding, it's not helpful. And the reason why it's not helpful is because people see and learn behavior. They see, it's a favorite pastime in South Africa for everyone to criticize minibus taxis, for example. And people have become so frustrated with the minibus taxis not being taken to task that they actually turn around and they copy their behavior. They say, if we can't beat them, we're going to join them.
Just talking about behavior, let's come to you, Mr. Minar. The behavior of traffic officers has been in question in the past years. It keeps on getting worse. The issue of bribes coming up, the issue of traffic officers intimidating motorists. What exactly are you doing to make sure that traffic officers are on the right conduct when they're on duty?
Look, the officers are taught in their training when they are taught to be an officer in the academy about their conduct. What is expected of them as officers in full uniform? When they get out onto the roads, if they misbehave and there's evidence of corruption or serious misconduct, those officers get dismissed. So they get pushed or shoved out of the system. The officers who are well behaved and maintain their conduct properly are the officers who do well within the profession. And then they grow and they are promoted and succeed. But the officers who misbehave and are corrupt, those officers get dismissed.
They get dismissed. So the suspension, they're taken off duty, their firearms are also confiscated. Is that what you're saying? So they don't have a license to operate, in other words.
That's correct. They get when they get dismissed, they don't have a badge anymore, and they cannot operate as officers any longer.
All right. I think, gentlemen, after the break, we just need to come and equip the viewer at home of what to do, what is expected of me as a motorist, and what is it that I should not oblige to or cooperate to when requested by a traffic officer, because I think that's where the issue is. We don't know our rights. What is it that I'm expected to do, and what is it that I'm not expected to do? But right now, let's quickly take another ad break. If you're watching Yilungelo Lakho right here on SABC 1. Well, welcome back. Remember that our participation line right here in studio is 011-714-6918 and 6919. You can also send us your emails to consumer@sabc.co.za. And just as I said that you should send me Facebook messages, I'm about to read some of the Facebook messages you send me. I've got Tembela Makwele, who says, I'm so very happy with my traffic as a searcher in a good way. And then I also I've got Asanda Kautansomi, who says traffic ziyawenza kakuhle umsebenzi wazo kodwa kunento engayithandiyo abayenzayo leyo kuba bafune imali ngenkani, especially ukuthi bantu basebenza ngokulayisha abantu. And then we've got George George Mutswaka says, yes, issue of our driver's licenses and just cooperate with them. The worry is of those people who are hijacked by people who are in full traffic or police officers in uniform. I think that's what he was trying to say, and that was George Mutswako. But right now, let's quickly take a caller. I believe we've got Sam who's calling us from Northwest. Hello, Sam.
Good day, sir.
Good day. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, Bob.
My concern is the traffic lights sometimes they don't work, and you find 100 meters away from them there are traffic officers who are there stopping cars, but they're not attending the traffic lights there. So I don't know who's responsible for the regulations of the traffic lights.
Okay, so your concern is that the traffic lights are not working, and you want to know whose responsibility is it to make sure that those traffic lights are working, or in the absence of traffic lights operating. I think that's what I was trying to say. Sam, are you there? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir, because in Brest, next to Brest Mall, that's what happened yesterday, and the traffic lights have not been working for a week, actually. But I can see the presence of the traffic officers, but they are not attending the traffic lights, and the traffic is going slow.
Okay, was it not load shedding, Sam? Was there electricity on the area?
Yes, the electricity was there, but the traffic lights were malfunctioning.
Okay.
So we had red lights coming in, green lights, so they were not working properly.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sam. I believe that Mr. Minar will definitely attend to your question. Now, the issue of traffic lights that are not working, and I believe in Johannesburg, especially throughout this week, we've had that issue. Is it because perhaps of the load shedding schedule that affects some areas, or because that's exactly what Sam is saying?
You see, what I must say, in Joburg, out of the 2,300 Metro Police officers, there are 100 odd officers on the speed section. Now, the officers on the speed section, it's their duty and responsibility to do speed monitoring and set up speed cameras. That's their function. They don't do anything else in terms of duties. Where there's a light not working, motorists can call into that authority or municipality where the light is not working and bring to their attention, look at this particular point, traffic is particularly bad.
It's not working.
Yeah, or the light's not working and there's a lot of congestion. Let one of the other officers come to direct the traffic. So unfortunately the speed section, the job is to operate the speed cameras.
Okay. So, or to operate the speed cameras. Yes. So it's not their duty to stand on the traffic light and then direct the traffic.
I won't say it's not their duty. It's their duty.
It's something that they can do.
It's something that they can do, but their function at that point is to look after that speed camera, because the speed camera costs quite a few cents, and it's costly. So that's why it's their responsibility. But if there's a light not working, the motorist can call. Call the municipality or the department there and says, please send an officer here to direct traffic.
All right, Sam, I hope as you're watching right there at home, your question has been answered. Your duty is to call the traffic department and say, send a traffic officer to come and direct traffic in that particular zone. Let's just talk about responsibilities, because I think that's where the issue is basically. Who does what? What's my duty as a motorist when there are road traffic blocks? What is the duty of the traffic officers? I'm going to come to Mr. Minar to define those duties. But let's come to the motorists, because I believe a lot of people don't know what they're expected to do. A lot of people don't know what their duty is and their responsibility as well. So I'm going to come to you. Just tell us the first thing that is most likely to happen when there are roadblocks. What's to be expected of me as a motorist?
Well, firstly, it's very important that motorists understand that it is their responsibility to obey all of the rules of the road. And therefore, they should not be driving their motor vehicles under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of drugs, not wearing their seatbelts, in violation of road traffic signs, road markings, etc., etc. Now you arrive at a roadblock. If the traffic officer asks you for your driving license, it is your duty to present your driving license. You have to carry your driving license with you at all times whilst operating a motor vehicle. So when they ask you for it, show it to them. I think the important thing to remember here is that everybody has the right to be treated with dignity. Not necessarily respect, but dignity. So therefore, you can expect to be treated with dignity by a police official, a traffic officer, etc.
Wait. You said not necessarily respect, but with dignity.
Yes,
that's quite a confusing statement. What exactly do you mean by that?
Okay, well, you don't need to... be kowtowing to anyone. Yes, sir, no, sir, very sorry, boss, and all that kind of stuff. The fact is that nobody has the right to start swearing at another person, raising their voice, etc. Why the heck are you stopping me? You corrupt guys. You know, all you want is cold drink. That kind of thing is not helpful. People need to understand one very important issue here, and that is if a traffic officer pulls you over or if you stopped in a roadblock, the place to litigate is not at the side of the road. You don't argue your case at the side of the road. There are courts that are there to deal with those particular issues. If you feel that you've been unfairly treated, etc., you have recourse. And that is the most important thing. However, one needs to understand that cooperating with a traffic officer does not include paying bribes.
A bribe.
Okay. It includes showing them your driving license, if they ask you to do that. Submitting to a breathalyzer test, if they ask you to do that. And not getting into a negotiation about, well, if you pay 200 Rand, we don't breathalyze you and you can go. I mean, that kind of thing, it's your responsibility not to pay bribes, ever. Because if you pay a bribe, you need to understand that you might not necessarily be under the influence of alcohol, but the next guy coming along who's completely and utterly drunk out of his skull is also going to pay that bribe and is going to probably crash into your family and kill you and your family. Let's get rid of this culture of paying bribes. It's a chain, it's a supply chain. And the fact is that if people don't pay bribes, traffic cops will stop soliciting bribes. It's as simple as that, because there will be no advantage to soliciting bribes.
To soliciting bribes. Let's do it now. I mean, the issue of intimidation by traffic officers, intimidating motorists, the issue of motorists not understanding their duties. Mr. Dembowski just tried to define our duty and our responsibility as motorists. But let's come to, we do understand that the traffic officers who are doing an absolutely wonderful job, you know, day in and day night, 24/7, they're on duty, and they're going according to the code of conduct. But there are those apples that still need to be rooted out of the bag. What behavioral training would you say, or interaction training do you have to assist traffic officers, especially to handle conflict? You saw on the insert the gentleman who pulled out his firearm and fired on the air. Is that even legal?
You see, officers also differ as individuals, because training is done to all the officers whilst they're in the academy.
Okay. I think we should take Ndu from Durban. Hello, Ndu. Naidu. Hello, Naidu.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. What's your question?
January, we were in Johannesburg, and I had a 6 flight.
Okay, Naidu, can you please just try to change your position? Your line is breaking a bit.
Sorry?
Yes, can you change your position? We're cutting, we can't hear you clearly.
Okay, be off. And as I had a brand new...
Okay, sorry, Naidu. We're just going to take an ad break. We're going to call you. Just try to please fix your position and call us after a few minutes, and we'll attend to your call after this ad break, all right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, just to remind you that it's 011-714-6918 and 6919. That's the number that you can use to call us right here in studio. We're discussing your rights and responsibilities on the road, what to do and what's expected of you when you are in a traffic jam. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Sinamkela kwakhona ke bawethu ukhumbule ukuba nawe ungathabatha inxaxheba apha estudio ngositsala umnxeba phaa kwinombolo yethu, and that is 011-714-6918 and 6919. And just talking about calls, before the break I had Naidu on the line, and I believe that she's back with us again. Hello, Naidu.
Hello.
Hello. I believe that your line is much better now.
Okay.
All right.
We were from Johannesburg in January, and my son has got a brand new BMW 6. And I think on a 150 zone, he went 150. And what happened was an officer pulled him up and wanted to arrest him. I was rushing. We were going to the
It
airport.
seems like that line is still very bad. Naidu, I believe that our producers are going to call you and perhaps we'll try to get rid of you again. Sorry, just try to call you again. We'll call you again, Naidu, all right?
Okay.
All right, please just try to change your position also. All right, please make sure that when you call us, that you're in a place where the reception is at least better. Let me take some of the messages that you've sent us. I've got Sipo Seroto who says, I think it can be helpful if there will be a reliable platform to share your views or experiences regarding the road law enforcement officials you came across. To be on the safe side, always stick to the road rules to avoid problems. And then we've got Johnny Sebotuma who says, good day, not exactly. I don't think even those law enforcement officials know how and when to apply it. Some of them think that as long as they are in the uniform, they have every right to abuse road users. And then he's wishing us happy Easters. Law officials who don't know when to apply their law, who don't know when to apply their duties, that's still another issue that we're faced with as motorists and as passengers.
You see, the training for the officers gets done at the academy. Now, when the officer gets out of the academy and he abuses his power or misconducts himself in any way, then he must be reported so that he can be investigated, so that he
You've
can
got
be dealt
Sipo
with.
there. Sipo says there should be a platform that, besides calling the station, besides calling the officers, there should be a platform where motorists and passengers are allowed to share their experiences. If perhaps I encounter an incident on N1, I should be able to get straight on their cell phone or the internet and report the issue and have it attended immediately. Do you have anything like that in your planning, perhaps, front-wise?
Yes, no, look, there is a platform where they can send messages to the City of Joburg website or to the Twitter for Joburg Metro Police, where they can communicate any issue, be it an officer who's doing wrong or where there's a problem with the traffic. But it's not the intention of the department to have corrupt officers on the road who do wrong when they are in uniform. They're supposed to behave themselves and do what is expected and what is right. We don't train officers to misbehave. The majority of officers do a good job. But where there are officers who misbehave, we must get rid of them.
All right. Let me come to you, Howard. We're still talking about the responsibilities, but we spoke more about motorists. Now we need to speak more about commuters as well. Many a times you would find that after the incident, after the accident, those who survived in the accident perhaps will say that the driver was speeding, but we didn't know what to do. What are our responsibilities when it comes to public transports as commuters?
Well, firstly, I think it's very important to point out that the Road Traffic Management Corporation runs a 24/7 hotline that you can actually phone. Its number is 0861 400 800.
So it's 0861
400 800.
So they can call there.
That you can call that. Okay, or you can send an email to ntcc@rtmc.co.za. Okay, now they have national jurisdiction. It's very easy for us to sit and talk about the JMPD, but the JMPD doesn't have jurisdiction outside of its operational area. And what it's doing is not necessarily the same as what Ekurhuleni is doing, as what Cape Town is doing, as what Durban is doing, Limpopo, etc., etc.
All right.
So it's an unfortunate situation, and that's why I like to refer people to the National Traffic Call Centre.
National Traffic Call Centres. Let's also talk about the fines. In most cases, especially around holidays, you find that you were speeding on N1 or highway, and then you're captured by the camera later, or they don't send you the fines immediately, and then you find that later on, maybe years later, they send you those fines, or perhaps you're not even sent the fines, they arrest you exactly on the point. Is that even within the jurisdiction?
Well, it's definitely not within the framework of the law. The fact is that we have something called the TCSP guidelines, which is the Technical Committee for Standards and Procedures guidelines, that says that an infringement notice under the Criminal Procedure Act must be issued and posted to that person within 30 days of the alleged commission of the offence. Under the ARTA Act, that's 40 days. And under the ARTA Act, it must be sent by registered mail. Unfortunately, we have a situation in our country that ARTA doesn't apply everywhere. So don't assume that it must be sent via registered mail.
So they must be sent via registration. Let's hear from Lindile, who's calling us from the Western Cape. Hello, Lindile.
Hi, how are you, man?
I'm good, Dada. Kunjani?
I'm all right, man. Can't
Yeah, yeah.
complain. I'm Lungelo. This is Lungelo.
It's Yilungelo.
Yeah, Lungelo.
Okay, well, apologize for that, Yilungelo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, just wanted to ask two questions from the panel again. The first question that I want to ask is a traffic cop allowed to get on the R10 or on the N1 in the middle of the road and choose a taxi, for example, that is on another lane to try and stop that taxi that is on another lane and pull it out to the slower lane? Is the traffic officer allowed to do that? That is one. And then two, what I want to ask is that officers, now the normal police, the cops, are they allowed to stop cars? And if they are allowed, up to which extent are they allowed to do that? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Yilungelo. That was Yilungelo calling us from Cape Town. Remember that you can also call us right in studio. The number is 011-714-6918 and 6919. But right now we'll take another commercial break and we'll be back shortly. Please don't make sure that you don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Well, to call us right here on the show, it's 011-714-6918 and 6919. You can also send us your views via email, and that is consumer@sabc.co.za. Well, before the break, with a caller from Cape Town, the Western Cape, that was Yilungelo. You got his first question. Can you answer his first question?
Yeah, that's right. From what we understood is that he was asking about if an officer stops a motorist from the outside lane or from the fast lane to pull the car across other traffic lanes. Well, look, if the officer does so with safety and is safe in execution of his duties, then there's nothing wrong with the officer stopping a car from the fast lane to get him to stop in the emergency lane, as long as it's done so safely.
Okay, so it is within his legal rights.
Yes, he may do so. Officer may stop a vehicle on any lane whilst in execution of his duties if the motorist committed an offence.
Okay, let's come to the second question, Howard.
Right. The second question was, as I understood it, whether the South African Police Service has the right to enforce traffic laws. And they absolutely do. Any peace officer has the right to enforce traffic laws. And those peace officers are defined in the National Road Traffic Act as being a traffic warden, a traffic officer, and a member of the South African Police Service.
Okay.
Just on that other score there, if people think about this logically, it would be very, very foolish of a traffic officer to pull a person off in what people like to call the fast lane, the outer lane, because vehicles are traveling much faster there. So moving them across to the shoulder of the road, which people call emergency lane, is the right thing to do.
All right. Let's come to, in terms of testing passengers and motorists. Currently, right now, you've got a kit that allows the traffic officers to test the alcohol percentage within your body or your system. But I believe that you've got a new invention that's on the pipeline. Please tell us more about that. That's going to check other drugs as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's called a drug kit.
The drug kit.
Yeah, now, you see, the symptoms of a person under the influence of alcohol and under the influence of drugs differs. Because when a person is under the influence of drugs, you cannot smell alcohol.
Okay.
But however, the person's reactions is not normal.
Okay.
The person is unsteady on the feet.
Unsteady.
They dazed. You can see that they are under the influence of drugs. Then the officer can execute a drug kit test.
Drug kitting.
And see if the person is under the influence of any of the drug
or not.
Or not.
Okay.
And then the person is taken for also a blood test. So whether it is for alcohol or for drugs, a blood test.
It will be done. All right. Well, let's quickly take Black Mamba who's calling us from Johannesburg. Hello, Black Mamba. Sikona baba njani?
Sikona man.
Baba.
Ngithanda ukubuza lapha just because when it comes to empowerment, I would like to ask the minister if there is a process in terms of employing people. Because we have seen most of the roadblocks, they are involved in Easter or December time, you understand. But it seems that we have a shortage of traffic officers. So another point that ngifuna ukuchazela ngayo ukuthi uyabona imoto lezi bazenza manje material one akusiyo material all right just because if imoto mayishayisa mhlawumbe ngishayisa inkomo imoto iyaphela ngespeed ayisafani the material that we use bebayenza ngazo iy'moto kudala uyabona imoto yakudala bekuthi uma ushayisa inkomo imoto beyingapheli bekungamane kukhona inkomo but now once uma ushayisa inkomo nani la phakathi emotweni niyashona.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe that gist of his question, the first one, he mentioned something about shortage of traffic officers. What are you doing about that, especially because he's calling from Gauteng?
Yes, look, at this point, we've got 2 courses underway in the academy. So the first 50 officers will be passing out in June this year.
Okay.
And then there's another batch going in for training in July, who will pass out in another 18 months. So training is ongoing so that we can increase the number of officers on the roads.
All right. Let's come to you, Howard. There's also another issue of the e-toll officers who also hijack the roadblock or take advantage, should I say. They stop people and then they force them to subscribe or to register. Is that within the legal rights of those officers?
Well, firstly, that's an urban legend.
Okay.
The fact is that the Gauteng Department of Community Safety, otherwise known as the Gauteng Traffic Police, do use equipment that is based in SANRAL's e-toll vehicles, and that's a little bit misleading on the part of SANRAL, but you know, then again, SANRAL isn't exactly a straight organization. But the fact is that those particular roadblocks are not roadblocks, they're roadside checks for a start. And that equipment helps them to identify motor vehicles whose license discs have actually expired, or they will pull people over for roadworthiness issues, etc., etc. It's got nothing to do with e-tolls. And if a person, a traffic officer says you must subscribe to and register with SANRAL for e-tolls, then that person should be reported. But please, not on second or third or fourth hand information.
There are also incidents where the motorist is given a traffic fine unlawfully. What can one do in that incident, where you feel this is unjust, but you were given the traffic fine nonetheless?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the last thing you want to do is litigate at the side of the road. There's not going to be a winner when you get into an argument with the traffic officer. So quite simply, take the infringement notice, and then you can make a representation to the traffic authority concerned, or, in the case of the Joburg Metro and Tshwane Metro, to the Road Traffic Infringement Agency on an ARTA 07, an ARTA 08 representation form. But the fact is that South Africa has a wonderful thing that people tend to forget about called the Constitution, which holds that you are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until you prove yourself innocent. So therefore, you have the full right to actually make that traffic officer prove whatever allegation has been brought against you, should you feel that you would like to contest it. The fact is that paying a traffic fine is only one of the various options that you can actually exercise. But when you pay it, you have admitted guilt. Although I'm going to put a proviso to that. That is, unless a traffic officer stops you in a roadblock and says, if you don't pay, we're going to lock you up. They have absolutely no right under law to do that. And if they say that to you, I strongly recommend that you shove both hands out and say, arrest me, I need the money, because we will assist you to sue them.
All right. Yes, you want to add that?
I support what Howard is saying, because...
So you hand yourself in if you know that you haven't done it.
You see, officers are trained to enforce traffic regulations. So it's their job to issue a traffic fine. If a motorist is stopped for whatever offense, cooperate with the officer, take the traffic fine, and then you apply for it to be cancelled or to be set aside, either in writing or in a court of law.
Let's come back to you again, Howard, just to emphasize more on that issue of e-tolls and having SANRAL people on the road within the traffic jams or traffic roadblock, and forcing people to register to be a part of e-toll. You said, what did you say about that?
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not, absolutely not happening. Those people that you see there are Gauteng traffic police. Unfortunately, we have this tendency in South Africa to think that everybody is the JMPD. I've had complaints from people based in Mpumalanga saying the JMPD are doing a terrible job there, but the JMPD has no jurisdiction there. But
it's the brand.
Well, yeah, I don't know whether I'd like to have that kind of brand. But in any case, the fact is that the e-toll roadblocks, the so-called e-toll roadblocks, I have not to date been given a legitimate complaint from a motorist being told that they're being forced to register. Nothing
But
has
it's
been
happening. It's still
verifiable.
happening.
It's
Perhaps
not
people
happening.
don't know how to.
Those roadblocks are happening. They are pulling people over for vehicle and driver fitness issues.
All right. There still are issues of legal. Is there a distinction between a legal and a non-legal, illegal rather, traffic fine? What is that? Because